Hello, this is Crazy Six with DeepBrain Chain. This is another video in the governance series, and this one's going to be on the council. I've already submitted videos on democracy, treasury, bounties, tips, and they all kind of intertwine in one way or another. Council interacts with a lot of those, so while I will touch on the treasury and proposals and some of these other items, if you want details, you should go see that video, and then definitely check out dbc.network. There are guides and explanations, much deeper explanations than you'll find in these videos, and step-by-step guides. So the council's main function is to serve the token holders. It's to act in their best interest when they're not available for things. And this usually comes in distributing treasury funds through voting and making sure it's in the best interest of the community. Treasury funds should be going to things that enhance the community, like adding GPU power, building out tools for the blockchain, and advertising. So on the council page, we can see our current 13 members. They're responsible for voting on motions and controlling the treasury. Then we see the runners up. They are the 7 accounts that did not make the top 13 during the last election, but are still here in case one of the council members leaves or is removed. And then we have the candidates that have applied for this next election. First, before we get into voting for council and submitting candidacy, we're going to talk more about council responsibilities. If one is a council member, the first thing they want to make sure they do fairly often is check motions. If one of the other council members has pulled something in for a vote, the council members need to speak up and vote for it. And you can see there's 2 here, 2 motions, and there's 2 votes on each. The first one has 2 votes for. The second one has 1 vote for, 1 vote against. Obviously, the council members have not voted on these yet, but hopefully they will do that soon. Now, the motions can come from a variety of things. The primary one is Treasury Proposal. You can see these are Treasury Proposals. If we do a little drop down, you can see this is Proposal ID number 12. There's not a lot of information other than how much it's for, 2 million DBC. But if we go to the Treasury, the council member can look for Proposal number 12. And then over here at the right, there is a Treasury link. Clicking that will actually open up the Reddit page, which they'll have to scroll down and look for Proposal 12, and they'll find a write-up about what that proposal's for, and the council member will be able to determine if they think that is a worthy cause for Treasury funding, and then submit their vote. However, council members shouldn't just be voting on items that are already motions and pulled in by other council members. The council members should be talking to each other and evaluating all these proposals and pulling them as necessary, and then all kind of voting together to get them cleared out and make sure the community feels like they're being responded to. So that's the Treasury proposals. Then there's tips. There is a tips video that goes into detail, but this is another thing the council is responsible for evaluating these tips and then submitting an amount by clicking on tip that they think each recipient should receive. That could be 0, that could be 1, or they could just not submit a tip and that person would not receive a tip. Now, a lot of these proposed tips are actually tests that people did to try to figure out how this works, so clearly they don't need to receive tips for that. And then there's bounties, which actually become motions too once the council pulls it in. There is a video on bounties, and if this were a council account, there would be a little button right here on the right under next action that allows a council member to pull it in as a motion and vote on it. So the council, again, the council's primary duties are to evaluate proposals, bounties, tips, and watch these motions to vote on them and make sure everything in the DBC environment keeps moving forward and that we're using the Treasury funds responsibly and benefiting the community. Now, the final thing that the council can do is deal with proposals and referendum. Now, there is another video that goes into detail about referendum, and of course, dbc.network talks about that in depth as well. But to kind of rehash things, you submit a pre-image and you get this proposal hash. A normal referendum would first go into a proposal here, which would need to be seconded to go to the referenda list. However, if a council member is submitting that, they could create the pre-image here and then go back to the council page, back to motions, and click on propose external. So this would submit that democracy referendum to the council for a vote. And if it passes, then it shows back up on that democracy page as an external proposal down here at the bottom. And the difference between the council proposal and a regular proposal is what's required to get it to pass. A normal proposal requires a supermajority. A proposal that's been approved by the council and then goes to a referendum has a much less restrictive passing requirement, because the council already said, yes, this is good. Now the community just needs to approve it, and we don't require such a high majority of the community to approve it. So that is what the council should be doing and what we should be expecting of them. So with that in mind, when you're voting for council members, you want to make sure you find people that are in, the chat channels, Telegram, Discord, WeChat. There you can see them if they're current members and you want to vote for them for the next election, that they're voting and doing their job and being active in the community. Or if they're candidates, you want to make sure that you're able to see them being active in the community and wanting to be on the council for the right reasons. So if you want to vote for council, you'll go to this council page and you'll click vote. You can vote up to 16 different candidates, and it will be an ordered vote. So you'll want to vote for your favorite one first. So I'm going to vote for myself, Crazy Six, and then I'll pick a few other people that I know, like Ozzy Miller and DBC Japan. And these are people that I've talked to in the community that I think will do a good job, so I can vote for them. Now, I will set the amount of DBC I want to contribute to my vote. It's weighted, and members are actually not picked by the number of people that vote for them, but by the backing in DBC. So the more DBC I have to bond to my vote, the better chance that my candidates will be selected. Unlike staking or voting for referendum, which can lock your coins for 14 days or 30 days or however much, depending on what you're doing, a vote for candidates only locks your coins while your vote exists. So at any point in time, I can come back here and click unvote all, and it will remove my vote and unlock my coins. In fact, I could just wait until my council members are elected, come remove my vote, and my coins are free again. So there is one more thing to kind of know when voting and then updating the vote. So let's just pretend for a moment that these are the three I voted for, and then I realize that I want to also vote for Metaverse, and I come back and I want to add that to the list. So the thing is there are, again, members, runners-up, and candidates. And we can see the backing for the members and the runners-up, but we can't see anything for the candidates. This is a kind of a thing with the UI for dbcwallet.io, that candidates, you can't actually see the backing. Well, the same thing kind of happens in this vote tab, that had I voted for those three, and you can note that DBC Japan is a candidate, if I clicked vote again and opened it up, I would still see Crazy Six there. I would still see, who else did I have? I think it was Ozzy Miller, because they're runner-up. But I would not see DBC Japan. So if I'm going to update my vote, I actually need to manually go add DBC Japan there again, so they don't get off my list when I update my vote. And then I can add the extra person I wanted to add and update my vote. So that's how voting works. We want to make sure we get plenty of backing on the members that we want to see. Vote for all the people that you want to see on council, and put them in order from your favorite to your less than favorite. We'll say voting for council is important. We need to make sure we have good representatives. And of course, you can always run for council if you feel like you're up for the responsibility and you want to do all this evaluation of proposals and other stuff. Just click submit candidacy, pick your account, and be ready to bond 10,000 DBC. This is 10,000 DBC that will be locked throughout your time on council or as a runner-up, and it'll be unlocked when you leave the council. That pretty much does it for the governance series of DeepBrain Chain. This is Crazy 6, and I'll see you next time.